Live life by choice, not requirement. There's only one way to get there from here. Be the resource your community needs. Welcome to the Relax, I Got This podcast and start crushing it with your tribe with host Robin McCoy. Here's your host.
I'm Robin McCoy, Texas Realtor, Tribe Builder. Welcome to Relax, I Got This, crushing it with your tribe, where we share real talk about building businesses and life relationships. As a Texas Realtor, I'm in the unique position to meet and know so many different people in a wide range of industries. And these people are my tribe, and I leverage them not only to help my business, but to help others as well. And we're going to take a weird turn today because I'm basically going to interview myself with the help of our CEO over here at OBBM.
It's the
Susan
Robin
Hamilton.
McCoy show.
Well, you know, had an empty slot, and my business coach, Tony Caliendo of Rethink Coaching, challenged me one time. He said, Robin, when are you going to interview yourself? And so when I didn't have anybody for this segment, I said, right now.
So what's he telling you to talk about?
Well, I think just, me. How did I end up in a chair at a podcast? You know, what are some of the things that people ask me or things I've done and then they're curious about? Like, when I was growing up, we moved about every 2 to 3 years. My dad was working his way up the corporate ladder, essentially. So we lived we were, born here in Dallas, Baylor downtown, but lived in Oklahoma, Tennessee, New Hampshire, Minnesota.
We did a lot of moving around too, but my dad hated the snow. Everything was about, I'm done shoveling.
Well, as soon as anybody had the opportunity, we got the heck out of Minnesota because it was cold. But by that time I was out of college and I wasn't being drug around because I had to, because I was a child. But I think what that did, and as much as you hate it when you're a kid, when you grow up, you realize what a benefit it really was. I know people all over the country. I know people that if I broke down in Omaha, Nebraska, that I know there are people there that will help me. That's
so cool. But there's other reasons than just that kind of travel. I had that kind of travel also. My dad fostered in me a huge love of America and just how gorgeous our nation is. I'd rather drive it than fly it any day of the week. Love it. I love the architecture difference. I love the things that you probably recognize, the way homes look different across from geographically. But you are also big deal with the American Businesswomen's Association. You tout that tribe, and those women have those connecting parts all over the nation also. And I bet that's a big reason your tribe is as powerful as it is.
You know, it is. And through ABWA, like you said, I know people, again, all over the country.
Yeah.
And I know I could go to Maryland, and there are people there that I can go have lunch with. that you're never alone if you don't want to be. And I think that is, a big thing that we do, or that we as humans need, is that pack or that tribe or those people that we know we can count on. And, say what you want about Facebook, but that brought a lot of old friends that I had left when I was growing up.
Yeah.
That I had left in Minnesota and New Hampshire and Tennessee and some of these places, California, when I lived there, that now we're connected again. And I've seen some of them in the last 5-10 years, that given the distance between us, had it not been for those sorts of digital relationships that were able to bring things back together.
Yeah, social media had a way of bringing faces and friends and names and new married names and all the different changes in their lives and all the photographs from, hey, remember this? How many times somebody reaches out and says, hey, Susan, remember this?
Well, do you know that a few years ago, I sold a house to a person I went to high school with in Pelham, New Hampshire, who I hadn't seen since I was 17 years old. He and his wife had moved to the Dallas area. He said, we need a house. And I literally had not laid eyes on him since I was 17. But because of Facebook, he knew I was there.
What a freak thing. What a freak thing.
It's a freaky thing. It's a freaky thing.
Well, you've done a great job with your tribe. It's really a joy, Robin, to watch your show grow. Because ever since you started, you came into this with a plan. And you said, you know what? I've got all these people in my tribe, and I think these conversations really ought to get recorded. So you say you didn't have a plan, but yes, you did. You were probably more organized than most people that I work with.
Yeah.
And you came in and you started bringing them in, and one by one, just every single episode is really powerful. You know, you've just done a great job of showcasing the people that it takes to get the job done every single day. And really, you've, from everything, even that young lady that just came out that did the screens. Oh,
yes,
my gosh.
yes. 16 years old and has her own business and the goals she has.
Yeah.
I mean, when I met her, I was like, dang.
Did she join? Did she join
oh, yeah,
ABW?
she's an AB. Yes,
so
absolutely.
Crazy.
And she attends all the meetings, and she is learning, and she's looking for mentors, and she's looking for just the skill set that she needs to go be an empire builder.
You know, and she got that from, her father, who is part of, he works with you.
Yeah.
I mean, so all these relationships, they just really matter. And, when everything's shut down, there was a, for myself, and I know a lot of other people, but just a despair of, you're just separated, and it was just so rotten. And a lot of people found comfort in the Zoom meetings, but there's something about the fact that these relationships, when you're grabbing that coffee, or you're going and you're doing business together, and you're meeting together, there's something about that energy that I think we need it.
Yeah, we do. And, and I think what we forget is really how interesting each other we are.
Yeah.
People are very, very interesting, and they do very interesting things.
You always feature that. I have to say, you always feature that. Yeah.
When you've got people that are with Texar and they go help find,
right?
Cold cases and rescue people that are lost hiking. And then you've got people in your world that do, foster and adopt children. And then you've got people that are attorneys that can educate you and teach you the right way to do things, much like Alicia on our one of our most recent shows about the myths of some things that you think you know, but you don't. And to continue to learn and do things. I have this other little tribe that we haven't actually had on the show yet. And so in 2019, I decided I was going to walk the Camino in Spain. And now I'm just going to lead up to that, and then we're going to take a break.
But you'll have to hear about that.
You'll have to hear about that in just a minute. But it was because of a group of people that told me I could do something that I was afraid I couldn't do. That's got me to Spain. And that is probably one of the most, that's one of the biggest deals I think I've ever done. It was a big deal.
I want to hear about it.
It's probably one of my most proud things. So, all right, we'll talk about the Camino when we get back. We're going to take a short break and be back to Relax, I Got This, Crushing It With Your Tribe on the OBBM Network with Susan Hamilton and me.
Be the leader you know you can be. Build your professional network and access education that takes you where you want to go. We are women of all ages and backgrounds. You deserve national recognition and opportunities to build relationships with people you want to work and grow with. Hit the ground running with the Charisma chapter of the American Business Women's Association. Meetings each month from 6 to 8:30 p.m. on the fourth Tuesday in Farmers Branch, Texas, and online. Come with us. Experience ABWA for yourself. Go to charisma.abwa.org to learn more.
Everybody loves music, but not everybody knows what it can do for you. I'm sure you've noticed issues like anxiety, depression, and addiction are up. At Chester Squared Music Therapy Services, we understand. We have a seasoned staff with almost 30 years of experience dealing with clients with Alzheimer's, PTSD, addiction recovery, pervasive developmental disorders, post-accident rehab, and head trauma. We have experience in the local school district special ed departments, psychiatric hospitals, rehab facilities, medical and counseling centers. For those who are struggling to break free of the 9-to-5 rut, I've developed my groundbreaking Power of a Positive playlist system, taught in local psychiatric and rehab facilities successfully for years, and it's helped thousands of people. If, like many people, you struggle with boundaries, inner voices, relationships, and practical spirituality, anxiety, and panic attacks, improve your life through the power of music therapy. I'm a published author of 2 books and available to speak at conferences, seminars, and corporate events. Go to ivorchester.com today. That's IVOR Chester.com. Go now.
Still doing your own audio and video media?
If you're creating your own video series, TV, podcasts, and ad files, you're not focused on your business.
Your community needs you to keep being awesome, while professionals take care of audio and video details.
Bet you didn't know your show could have a studio audience with Q&A.
And applause.
Take your TV and podcast show to the next level. Focus on managing the business end of your inner celebrity.
Get over here to the OBBM Network studios at Grace Point Media in Farmers Branch.
Discover 3 state-of-the-art television studios,
2 podcast studios equipped for multiple participants and audience guests.
OBBM Network Studios at Grace Point Media is the highest level of set direction, audio-video production quality, network programming, and broadcasting for your business.
Your message could be in front of people you want to reach right here in DFW and beyond.
Call 214-714-0495 to talk through your ideas now. 214-714-0495. It's time to make media work for you.
Welcome back to Relax, I Got This, Crushing with Your Tribe, where we share real talk about building business and life relationships. So we were going to talk a little bit about my craziness when I went to the Camino. Fix this.
Tell us.
So you may or may not have seen the movie called The Way with Martin Sheen and Emilio Estevez. So it came out years ago, and the short version is dad and son are estranged. Son passes away on the Camino. Dad goes back to the Camino to understand more about his son. But you got to watch the whole movie. It's a great movie. But the Camino is the Camino de Santiago, which is a pilgrimage that the Catholics took for centuries and centuries and centuries to the grave of Santiago and St. James. And so if you take the particular route I was on, it's called the Francais. It starts in France and then walks all the way across northern Spain to Santiago. Takes 30 days, typically.
Wow.
I couldn't take 30 days away from my life. That just, So I was going to do, my intention was to do the last 100 kilometers. So I was going to walk 100 kilometers over a 2-week period to Santiago. And I wanted to do this for years, but never thought I could. Right? No, I can't do that. I'm not a hiker. No, I can't do that. I'm not in shape. I can't do that. I can't go to Spain. I don't have it, all the
excuses we make for not doing the cool stuff.
And the limiting beliefs and all the things, right? Well, a friend of mine at my office said that she was going to go walk the Camino. And I went, well, if Cindy can do it, I can do it. And so I said, I'm going to do that too.
I've noticed that's a repetitive theme.
Yes. Yeah, don't tell me I can't do something. That's I ended up riding the hotter than hell bike ride with my dad. So that's another story when he said I couldn't do it. So I planned to do it in 2020, and I didn't do it because of the same excuses. I can't go to Spain. I can't leave this. I can't leave. I've got a husband at home. I can't leave him, and he doesn't want to do it. And all those limiting beliefs and excuses. And then a business coach of mine said, so when are you doing this Camino thing? When are you going to stop talking about it and make a plane reservation? And I got choked up. Well, randomly I was looking at Facebook, and all of a sudden an ad goes by that in a really cool bookstore that I like down in Oak Cliff, there was going to be an author that was going to be there talking about his book and the Camino de Santiago. So that was the universe, and I listened. And I went into this room, and there were probably about 30 people in that room of all different ages, shapes, sizes, everything.
Took all the big scary out, didn't it?
And I'm like looking around, and he does his presentation, and then he asks who has questions. And I finally just raised my hand, and I said, all right, 55, never hiked, don't speak Spanish, can I do this? And everybody in that room said, of course you can. Of course you can.
Excellent.
And I walked out of there, and I got home, and I said, so, I'm going to the Camino in August. Do you want to come? And my husband, he had no interest in walking 100 kilometers across northern Spain and sleeping in a hostel and eating whatever, and. And a year later, I was on a plane to Spain by myself, absolutely terrified. What the hell am I doing? And it was just, you know how to get on an airplane, just go do that. You know how to get off an airplane, just do that. Go find the train. Get on the train. You know which.
Wow, I
just
don't know
chunk
that I'd
it.
have done it myself.
And I got to Sarria, and I got off the train, and I took my first steps on the Camino, and I started walking. And when you are just walking with everything you need on your back,
That look on your face says it all. I mean, what boldness, courage. I mean, you get over every single fear
yeah,
ever,
you
right?
just stop worrying about stuff. And it took probably almost the first day to stop freaking out. And then you just get in rhythm with everybody else. And people were walking faster than me. I was the slowest person, but it doesn't matter. And as I went through this, and all the things that you need, right? You know, everything you need, you have with you. You have walking sticks that help propel you where you're going. Just having the faith in yourself and following the directions, losing your way. There was one point, all of a sudden I realized that I was in some farmer's field. And I'm like, I don't think this is the way I'm supposed to be going. Because there's a big cow right over there.
So tell me, how many were on the trail? I mean, could you see other people with you? Did you go
yeah.
as a group? So you're not just like alone walking
Well, there
down
were
this
periods.
trail.
There were periods when I was completely
Like
by
when you
myself.
ended up in the farmer's field. You were like
Yes,
alone.
yeah, this is wrong. And, you know, I didn't have anybody I was walking with.
How did you correct that?
I went back the way I came. And so along the Camino, there are arrows that point you in the right direction. But sometimes you're going through these very small Spanish villages, and they're not as clear as you might hope. And so if you miss one, you end up in a farmer's field.
Wow.
And you turn around, you go, and then you see another pilgrim go by. You're called pilgrims as you're walking. And you go, okay, there it is. And you just go hop back on and get back where you're going. And
yeah, for anyone who's never done any international travel, I highly recommend it. I remember going to, I got to see East and West Germany and go through Checkpoint Charlie and all of that and see the difference on one side of the wall and the other. And it impacted me greatly. I was 17 years old, and actually I think I was 16. But to get to see all of that and really the memorabilia I have left from that. But I was for 2 weeks. I got to see Austria and Switzerland and Germany and do all that hiking and get up into the mountains and go into the castles.
yeah.
I thought, whoa, the history that's been preserved here is just really fascinating.
It's fascinating. And this is the first time I had ever been out of the United States, other than like Vancouver, or, over the border to Mexico or something like that. I had never been to Europe. You're walking through these villages, and there's just the people that are they're farmers. And the cows look different. It's very weird. The cows are much prettier and bigger than they are here. And the corn is higher than it is here because they don't mess around with it. They just grow the corn.
Yeah, I think we're getting back to that.
And so, it was just incredible. And I got about halfway of my distance and I got hurt. And I couldn't walk. And being that this is a trip that is 100% walking, you back up a little bit. You stay in albergues, which are like a youth hostel. I got myself to one. Again, I couldn't really walk for about 4 miles. Last 4 miles, I was pretty much dragging my leg behind me.
Oh, that would be just
Did not even occur to me to call a cab or anything like that. Did not occur to me. I passed many albergues along the way that I could have stayed in, but I had chosen one, and I had to get there. I just had to get there. And I did. And you can call it a universe thing, a God thing, but those people took care of me. They let me stay overnight and all day. Normally you don't get to do that. They just took care of me. They made sure I had food, and then they helped me get my way home. And so it's just an interesting thing that you learn about yourself, and that whatever your Camino is, so whether it's really walking across Spain or opening a business or finding the love of your life or whatever that goal is, whatever your Camino is.
Sounds like the title of a book.
It is. We're not letting out any secrets. But that's your Camino, and go do your Camino. Go find your Camino and do it. So
love it. You got to get over those challenges.
You got to.
You know what? There is. It's
you may not be here tomorrow.
Those boundaries and those restrictions in our life aren't. They a lot of times they exist in our mind.
They all exist in our mind.
Until you don't step out.
Yeah.
The more you don't step out, you can end up in real physical prisons,
Yes.
and that could include your body, your physical health, and it can include all kinds of other ways that you can just ignore the things that are going on around you and your impact on that and your willingness to expand and lose what you got.
Yeah. And and I had to cut my trip short, and I felt like I didn't finish, and I kind of punished myself emotionally about that. And everybody I've talked to is like, oh my God.
Look what you did.
Look what you did. You walked the Camino. That's what you said you were going to do. You went and did it yourself. So anyway, I've stopped punishing myself over not finishing.
Yeah.
Because I did it. So I stopped doing that. Well, we'll get back in just a minute. We have to take a break. And I am here with Susan Hamilton, and we're just talking about stuff on Relax, I Got This. Crushing it with your tribe.
Local business? Don't get run over like a freight train. What if there were television and podcast studios right in your own backyard? Call 214-714-0495. OBBM Network Studios at Grace Point Media are DFW's full-service media solution for busy business owners who want to support their local community. Want your own show? We'll put it together and promote it for you. Want to advertise to businesses? With over 20 platforms, OBBM Network gets you in front of DFW's business community in powerful and creative new ways. Associate in higher profile circles. Take advantage of guest spots on business TV or podcasts. Join us at 1860 Crown Road, Suite 1410 in Farmers Branch, Texas for an episode, or maybe two. In fact, make OBBM the place you meet for valuable one-on-ones. Profitable business, free America. Make media work for you, DFW. Call 214-714-0495 and check out the calendar on offbeatbusiness.com for events you don't want to miss. What was that number? 214-714-0495.
Be the leader you know you can be. Build your professional network and access education that takes you where you want to go. We are women of all ages and backgrounds. You deserve national recognition and opportunities to build relationships with people you want to work and grow with. Hit the ground running with the Charisma chapter of the American Business Women's Association. Meetings each month from 6 to 8:30 p.m. on the fourth Tuesday in Farmers Branch, Texas, and online. Come with us. Experience ABWA for yourself. Go to charisma.abwa.org to learn more.
Welcome back to Relax, I Got This, Crushing It with Your Tribe, where we share real talk about building business and life relationships. I'm here with my friend Susan Hamilton,
Hey.
who is the CEO and chief bottle washer and trash collector of everything here at the OBBM network.
Hey, we're just working to support these local businesses, including yours,
That's
and
right.
love all the people you bring in here. You do such a great job with your tribe. I love the example you set to show people what it looks like to work together. You know, I grew up in a local family business, and when I started networking and meeting people, what really struck me is how many people don't get out. Where are there's a regular group of people.
You always see the same people.
And it's like, where's everybody else? And if you ever try to bring someone to a networking meeting that's never gone, I mean, sometimes it's easy, sometimes there's a challenge, and you always wonder, what is it? Why would you not want to? I get that it's uncomfortable to go meet people and have to learn how to present yourself, but that is a big piece of your professional development that you need to know how to do. And I just love how you set that example. You come in here and you go, hey, this is what it looks like. These are the discussions I'm having with the people that I work with every day and that I get to know and meet, and I met other people through them. And voila, you're living the lifestyle of just a fabulous networker.
Well, and it's because I've always just loved the people. Now sometimes I need to get away from the people, and that's when I pitch a tent over some state park somewhere and spend a weekend in the woods. But as a whole, again, that whole separation when we were in the whole quarantine and all of that of 2020 and a good portion of 2021, that, as a realtor, for a while we weren't essential, so we couldn't do anything, and I was about to freak out. Then we became essential, so I was still able to go out, at least on a limited basis.
Now we're going to make sure that word's never used again like that.
But at the same time, real estate just kind of, it came to me naturally later in life. I was in my 40s before I became a real estate agent.
Why'd you want to be a real estate agent?
Because I couldn't work in retail anymore.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to be, I mean, quite honestly, I loved my job. I worked at Crate and Barrel. I sold furniture. I have great relationships today through that job. Great people. I just couldn't stand on my feet and run around a retail store anymore.
Looking for the freedom and the flexibility and living life on your terms, kind of like Show Talks back.
Yeah, well, and it just got me a little bit more into meeting and working with people. I tell people all the time, I know what my job sounds like as a real estate agent. And they kind of look at me strangely. And I had a client early on, and she called me. She was referred to me by another client that she said, yeah, my cousin told me to call you. He said he's hollered at me because I didn't call you first. And now I've had a bad experience with this other realtor. I can't seem to get him to pay attention to me and things like that. They were first-time buyers, VA loan, looking for like a little house, and we had them in a house. Long story short, we had them in a house in 30 days. And as they walked out of the title office and around the corner, she squealed, just in excitement. And I looked at the security guard and I said, that's what my job sounds like.
Oh, cool.
When somebody is that happy, and I was able to do that.
Love it.
Does it get any better than that? Not really. No. And that is why I do what I do.
Excellent.
And why I foster relationships so that I can do that. It's not always what you know, it's who you know. And if I can hook up somebody with an attorney because they need a will or a trust, and they're at the, they should have done it 25 years ago, but now they need to do it now, I can send them to somebody they trust. If I need somebody is all up, doesn't understand Medicare and they're not doing it in the timely manner, I've got an expert that can,
you're neat. Your growth and your life metrics are very different than a lot of people have adapted, right? You've been able to look at things and decide, this is how I want to live. This is how I want to feel. This is how I want my brand. This is how I want my story to look. I'm going to write my own book. You've taken those extra steps to, hire a business coach, and there's definitely a difference in people that are using their business coach, right, versus those that don't. I mean, you're willing to kind of step out a little bit and get that, get something that nudge a lot of times, or just an insight that, man, you just needed to hear so you can take the next thing.
Well, and he calls me to the carpet sometimes, right? And he calls me out on my BS and gets me back on track so that I'm doing the job that I'm supposed to be doing. Because sitting in my office acting like I'm working isn't helping anybody. It's not helping me, but I'm not getting these people into these homes that they need to get into.
I really enjoyed that interview you did with Megan Fife, where you were talking about how, know your inventory, get out there and look at it. And I just thought that is a great reminder for freaking everybody. And another reason why you should be networking.
I mean, if you're a dry cleaner,
that's your people.
You should be taking your shirts to other dry cleaners.
Yeah.
Right? If you are, you're a lawn care company, you need to talk to other lawn care companies to see what's working for them or what's not. Why are we reinventing the wheel trying to get in front of people when we can just go sit in a room together, talk to each other, and now when you like me and you trust me, just like Alicia said on our one about reverse mortgages, that trust transfers. Because if I trust you, then I'm going to trust the people that you trust. And that's the only way to do it. I mean, that's why you do business.
That's problem solving.
Yeah,
problem solving.
It is. It's
hey, I know a guy.
I know a guy.
No.
I know a guy. Why, I see people on Facebook all the time. I need an exterior painter. And I put on, and I will, why don't you just call me? And I send them like the top 3. I'm like, why are you wasting your time with these people? Just call me.
I'm your person.
All the people. I know all the people. But that's what I want people to do.
Yeah.
I had a client call me and ask me how she changes her name when she got married. I went, I don't know. I didn't do that because it looked hard. I didn't want to do that particular hard. But I want her to call me for everything. I want to be that resource. I'm a business resource. That's what I do. I have a very wide net. All I need to do is cast it. What can I do for you?
What can I do for you today?
So that's it.
Love it.
Should I thank me for joining me?
Yes, right. You did so
I thank
good.
Susan for joining me
did.
Just helping me fulfill the task that Tony Caliendo put upon me several weeks ago, and just kind of talk about these things. It's good. It's good stuff.
Yep. Here's the face. Really, you show your face in it.
Yeah.
So yes, it's audio, but you're showing your face there, right? You get a visual of this.
Well,
you can see your smile through the microphone.
Yeah. Well, and I am pretty much. What did you say? I'm pretty much an open book. I'm pretty transparent. So, I just, if I've had good people in my life, like the people here and the people at ABWA and the people at Keller Williams and Crate and Barrel, where I worked for a long time, I want to share those people. They're kind of interesting. They're kind of interesting. I don't hang around with many boring people. So
no, it's important to love people.
Yeah.
It's important to really appreciate that. And I love the classic reminders of all those little nuances that people are special. And
they are.
And they, you forget that. It's not all, just eyes at the top.
No.
Of it, right? I mean, there's a person in there.
There's a person behind there.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why they own that dry cleaner or that restaurant or they're a realtor or they do loans. There's a reason. Find out what it is. What's their passion? So anyway, we're getting the side eye, so I guess it's time for us to sign off. Well, as a Texas realtor, I have the unique opportunity to meet great people and in a wide range of industries. If I can help you with any of your real estate needs or if you need the services of any of those in my tribe, please reach out to me. Who you're in business with matters. Thanks for dropping in and come back to hear us again on the Relax, I Got This, Crushing It with Your Tribe.
Honored to be in your tribe there, Robin. You've been listening to the Relax, I Got This podcast with Robin McCoy. To become a member of Robin's tribe or find out about guest and sponsor opportunities, call 214-226-3770. For DFW home sales information, go to RobinMcCoyRealty.com. Relax, I Got This, Crushing It with Your Tribe is produced for the OBBM network and available wherever you're listening to podcasts. Unauthorized use of the Relax, I Got This podcast or the OBBM network podcast brands are strictly prohibited. Call 214-714-0495 for permission requests and program information.